to another edition of the Bucks Report. My name's Elizabeth, and I'm here once again with Coach Morgan. First off, the Bucks battled extremely hard last Friday against Troy Christian. Can you talk about just the overall effort of that game?
It was phenomenal. I mean, the boys fought their butts off. I think arguably one of our best games of the year. They really played hard all game long. I mean, we made a lot of plays. I think it was one of our best games offensively, defensively. I mean, overall, we played really great.
Yeah, so outside one play, we started off really well in the first quarter. The big play for us was a touchdown pass from Landon Castle to Dalen Garrett, and that gave us a lot of momentum. Can you just talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, like football's a game of energy and momentum and swings, and when big plays like that happen, we have to capitalize on it. If you go back a few plays before that play, Landon threw another huge pass that got us in that situation to even score. So, and if you look at that, we capitalized on the momentum and kept dropping the ball and scored in the end zone there.
Yeah. So the injury suffered by Parker Hoyne seemed to take away a lot of our momentum. Obviously, that situation really affected the team emotionally, and it seemed to take us a while to refocus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Parker, man, that kid, I feel so bad for him. He's been working so hard this offseason all year long. To see some kind of freak accident that happen, you really have to feel for him. So he's a tough kid. He'll get through it, but it just kind of sucks. But yeah, it took us a little bit to kind of get through that minute there and then kind of get refocused. Yeah.
So throughout the whole season, the second quarter has kind of been our Achilles heel.
Yeah. And
the mistakes that we made in the second quarter were the difference for the game for us. The biggest mistakes, we had the turnovers, the failing to stop the Eagles on their 3rd and long. Can you kind of?
Yeah, I mean, I would say we are a fairly disciplined team. We do the right things right a lot of times, but the times we don't do them right, we pay for them. Like you mentioned, the third downs, first, second down, we have great first two plays. We fit our gaps. We're in the right spot. Everything was good, and then one little thing gets messed up, and then the ball pops. But that's what discipline is. Discipline is doing your job over and over again, repetitively for a long period of time, and doing it the right way. So we do it like 80% of the time. We're really there, and it's just that little gap to get over of filling the gap from 80% to 100% discipline all the time. So we're really close. It's just another step to get to that point.
Yeah. So offensively, we moved the ball well, and we racked up over 200 yards. Unfortunately, 3 turnovers, failing to recover, an onside kick, and 9 penalties hurt our chances of scoring more points. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but same thing. I mean, the discipline, those 9 penalties are at key times too. We do a lot of stuff right, and some dumb mistake happens, and we get moved back. On the onside is not being disciplined, doing the job. So again, like you said, we moved the ball great overall. 80% of the game was really good. If you play that game out, we look pretty good. We were solid, and then you just pick a few plays here and there that kind of held us back a little bit.
Yeah. So talking about defense, the guys made some really big plays. We had 6 sacks and we had 7 tackles for loss of yards. We also forced 2 turnovers. So can you elaborate on defense?
I mean, I'm going to say the same thing again, but I mean. Our guys' effort was off the charts. It really was. We do the right things so many times. I mean, you mentioned 6 sacks. I mean, you don't get 6 sacks by accident. You don't get 7 tackles for loss by accident. You don't get 2 interceptions by accident. All those things are phenomenal things. It's just that gap of doing that every play. Yeah. And that's what separates the good teams from the great teams. And it's a big separator. And right now, we're at the crossroads, of the season where that's the gap that needs to get fixed.
Yeah. So talking about the second half, it was probably our best overall performance all year. We played really good both sides of the ball. Phillip had a huge interception. We recovered an onside kick, and Landon Castle led the offense with another scoring drive. So can you elaborate on that?
Sure. I said earlier with our first touchdown with Landon and those guys, something we struggled to do most of the year was to capitalize on the good stuff. We make a good play, and then it would just kind of die out there. Make a great play here, and then die out there. It felt like we were finally making the progress of make a good play, and it leads to another good play, and another good play. And you could feel the boys' momentum. I was like, okay, I got this. I can do this. The confidence coming in, the energy coming in, the belief coming in, and that's what led to the second half being so great. that's like we said. And then we talked a couple weeks ago. And we said that was something we need to work on, and then that's getting improved. All right. Now the issue is the discipline of those little mistakes here and there to get that to be not just a second half thing, but a 4 quarters, full game kind of thing.
So this week we traveled to Bethel. Can you give us some insight on the Bees this week?
Yeah, they're solid. They're a really good squad. They got tons of athletes everywhere. So some young guys, they had some guys out early in the year that are back now. So they're a good team. They'll be a challenge for us. I know they have a new stadium. First time on the turf for those guys. For our first game of the season on turf, so that'll be different for the boys. But yeah, they're solid. Yeah.
Yeah. So what has been the boys' mindset just going into preparation for tomorrow's game?
Well, it's been all year. The mission is to maximize. Yeah. I mean, we don't look at the scoreboard. We don't look at the outcomes. A lot of that stuff's out of control. What we can control is how we do things. Our culture of our core values of work tough and selfish, humble, and loyal. Like those things are what we do. Our communication, our effort, our level of toughness, like all those things, we call it maximizing. Like, how much can you do all those things to get the best version of you? Yeah. And that's what our goal every week is. Every day of practice, every year, is to maximize and be the best version you can be.
Well, that's all I have. Next, I'll be back with the linebacker squad. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm back with the linebacker squad. So, coming off Troy Christian, we had a big defensive game. Can you guys elaborate on that for me?
I thought it was pretty good and high tempo. We made sure that most of our assignments were done. We had our right gaps. We made sure we had the right responses, and overall, pretty good.
I think we capitalized on what we needed to do, and doing our job was our main priority, and that's what we did.
I feel like the Troy Christian game was one of our best games that we've had on defense. We stopped them almost every single ball position they had, and I feel like we executed really well.
I think defense was pretty good for definitely linebackers because they were going right gaps, blitzing really well, and that was good.
I think we were going hard every play and being explosive on defense.
I think we did pretty good against them. Yeah, like one of them said, it was one of our best games. We worked hard, we strained for 6, and yeah.
I think it was a big game for the leaders. They stepped up. The previous games, they were leaders, but this game they really stepped up and played their position.
Yeah, for sure. So going into Bethel, what are we doing as linebackers to prepare for Bethel, and how are we just getting better this week?
So I feel like last week the game against Troy Christian was a big discipline issue. So we worked this week to make sure we had the little things like our steps, how fast we were going, and our tempo to fix it. And stuff we do to get better is just make sure you do push-ups if you get it wrong, or make sure you get feedback from the coaches.
And we're working really hard this week on play recognition, so calling out what they're going to do before they do it is a big help. Just putting our defense in the right position to make a play.
I feel like we just got to know our plays, which will help us a lot. So any play that we call out, we need everybody to hear it so we can really execute and do our jobs correctly.
Kind of like what Mason said, we need to just make sure everybody's getting the right stuff, the right gaps. Just defense need to be top tier.
We gotta right steps, everything. We gotta stay home on cutbacks, make sure the ball doesn't get past us.
I think
What are you doing to get better this week, Diego?
what I'm doing?
Yeah, what are you doing to get better this week?
Well, listening to all the plays. I'm trying to look up for the calls. Garrett's teaching me. Like a leader he is. Yeah.
They really said it all. Discipline is the main thing.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we have 3 starters here, and we have 4 freshmen back here. So you guys can kind of play off each other, but what do you guys feel that they are doing to help you? And what do you guys think that you're doing, like, and like to lead them and show them like the next steps?
Personally, Caden has been really helping me. I'm like the second to his position, and he's been like coaching me if I'm on like like I'm starting, like I'm playing a position. He's really like helping me, telling me where to go, and like just a really good coach.
I think Garrett's teaching me like all the right calls and like what to do. Not that long ago, he helped me before I think it was practice. You know, he was teaching me how to do everything. He taught me all like some of the calls and where to go on them. So I think he's being a great leader for me.
Garrett and Mason really been showing me what to do on each play and helping me become confident in what I need to do.
Yeah, Garrett and Mason, they keep switching in between middle linebacker. That's where I play, and they've been helping me figure everything out.
Kind of going off of what Sam Hellman said, I really try to help him the best I can, or whenever I can, especially when he goes out for a couple reps. I really just try to watch what he's doing so I can help him.
I try to lead by example, and then if they have questions, explain in detail about what they need to do and how to fix it.
I try to like lead a different way. I want to make sure they know what is right by showing them through example. But then again, I want to make sure when they are in that they have the right steps and like the right tempo, and make sure they have everything that they need to get better.
Yeah, for sure. Those are good answers. So going into Bethel this week, we are playing there. It's your guys' first games on turf this week. How do we feel about the game? How do we what are we doing specifically during this game to just play our best, do our best?
For defense, we want to make sure that we are downhill and that we are like reading our guards and knowing our responsibilities.
Just being disciplined overall. That's basically what we need to do to be successful.
I feel like we need to do our jobs correctly and take the right steps, and if we do all those right, then we're just going to be like alright. So we should like we are going to do the best we can.
I think, yeah, just being disciplined, everybody doing the thing they know how to do and getting it done.
O-line, keeping the blocks for a while, giving quarterbacks time to throw the ball deep.
I think discipline too, but also like motivating each other. You know, like obviously it's a sport team, but like between us seven, like we need to motivate each other and like make sure we're hyping each other up. If we get like a sack or something, make sure like we're doing everything properly, like we were supposed to and taught to. And
Yeah, for sure.
Attention to detail and like taking the right steps and talking to two on defense. Like just if we keep that up, it'll show and it'll show the game.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's all I have for you guys. So my name is Elizabeth Coblentz with Covington. Good night and
Go!